I've embarked on a journey to find out whether or not, firstly, whether I am a man, secondly, whether if I'm not a man, can I become a man using the values that conservative talking heads like PragerU, like Ben Shapiro have been spouting over the past couple of years. I don't think I'm any closer to an answer because they can't seem to define what masculinity actually means. If I can't get it by today, I don't know what I'm gonna, whether that looks like me converting to they them. I don't know if I've done enough for the cause to earn the one of the two only valid genders, non-binary. Because for sure, I think when we're talking about conservative ideals of what being a man is, when we look at our conservative leaders like Donald Trump, like Pete Hegseth, like Elon Musk, it just seems like they're a little bit all over the place. They're always asking, what is a woman? Maybe they should be asking, what am I? What do I mean? What do I mean to the world? You know? A bit of introspection can go a long way for these manly men. With that being said, let's get into the last wave of conservative bullshit that I really want to watch this week because Ghost of Yote is out and I've been playing a lot. So let's wrap this up quickly, gents.
Watch how Charlie Kirk destroys this Oxford feminist in seconds.
I will.
Your own Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, when he was talking at a summit, said we need to actually make things more feminine. Instead,
Boris Johnson, the conservative leader that was laughed out of parliament the last time he ran for election. Is this conservative on conservative crime? I mean, most crime these days is conservative on conservative because they are the violent party in America. I say America, I mean the world. Come on, what do they stand for these days?
we need to restore the balance that God created man and women.
The largest contributor to men's deaths right now is male suicide. But I would argue that is not a factor of feminization, but instead a factor of masculinity.
If it was true that men have always been miserable, why have the suicide rates gone up?
Well, because we've started recording suicides better. It's not to say that suicides didn't occur on this level. It's just we simply have better ways of recording.
That's rubbish, and you know it. You're looking.
That's rubbish. Let me not refute anything, any study that you've given me. Let me not refute that. That's rubbish. Men are more masculine because they kill themselves more. How did Charlie Kirk go from like this fucking podcaster to the next incarnate of Jesus over the past week? Like, bro's getting murals in, what was it, Serbia? He had a fucking podcast and he debates children because whenever he debates adults, it doesn't end well for him.
For another explanation for male unhappiness,
yes.
I'm pointing to you to a part of the world that actually does value marriage and does have children, but they have no money. So therefore, how could...
So it's capitalism, because a lot of what defines manhood, as in being the provider for a family, being a protector, having a stable income to support your family, is becoming increasingly hard under neoliberalism, currently under the conservative government of America. But conservative people, not just the average conservative people, but people like Charlie Kirk who are paid to be conservative, they don't want to point fingers at the conservative donors who are taking advantage of the working class. It comes up every week, kids. Did you do your homework? This isn't Charlie Kirk. This is a Republican in a skin suit. Charlie Kirk was trying to because he died, trying to role play as working class, sitting on a net worth of 15 million for selling out his conservative caucus.
Could you say it is a material problem why the men of London, who can dress how they want, go to whatever bar they want, are not happy?
Yeah, that was a whole lot of nothing. Are we shocked? If the answer to masculinity is just getting married, then Elon Musk and Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth have that covered since they've been married multiple times. Is that why they're the manliest of them all?
Well, his nickname's Tampon. No real man has a nickname like that. Well, that's what it is. I'm sorry. I didn't make it up. He wants them in boys' bathrooms.
Tampons in boys' bathrooms. I've been a boy for 25 years. I am yet to see a tampon in our bathrooms. That being said, me going into a boys' bathroom these days is kind of a zero-sum game. It just doesn't happen. Because lads, what are we doing? If your aim is terrible, have a seat. Sitting whilst peeing is the best thing you can do. It's so fucking relaxing. Open TikTok, you can be there for hours.
Real men don't talk about how they can beat other guys up. They don't talk about how masculine they are. Maybe if you're...
Does Andrew Tate not do that like daily? Isn't that a key tenet of masculinity that he's been pushing? That we can beat up the liberals so we're more manly. Is that not a thing anymore?
If you're a professional fighter, you can do that, but I don't know.
Okay, professional fighter. Okay. Well, that's not Andrew Tate. Who would be a conservative professional fighter? I guess Conor McGregor, but I mean his form of masculinity is denying the rape that he committed, where the victim had to have her tampon surgically removed. Is that the masculinity we should be talking about?
I know people that do that, and I know a lot of tough guys, like this guy, Greg Gutfeld. I have rules for men. They're just funny.
Yeah, that's a manly man right there. Jeez, isn't he like 5'2"?
They're not that serious. Like, you don't eat soup in public. You don't cross your legs. And you don't drink from a straw. And one of the reasons you don't drink from a straw is because of the way your lips purse. It's very effeminate.
It's so tough being a man in society these days, not being able to drink from a straw. Lads, we have it tough. When I get my soup cravings in public, I can't. Fox News told me I can't. When I'm surrounded by boys at the soup bar, and none of us are having pea and ham soup. Pea and ham soup is fucking delicious. So yeah, when me and the boys are out, and someone ordered soup, we fucking kill him, because that's what it means to be a man. We don't use straws. We don't drink soup in public. We don't cross our legs. God damn it. It is so tough being a man in 2025 because we have the real problems. He talks for me. Fox News talks for me. We have the real problems in society.
And his excuse was, well, I was drinking a milkshake. Again, you shouldn't be drinking a milkshake. Milkshakes are for kids.
Yeah. What the fuck? I love a milkshake. I love a lime milkshake. Is that weird? I love lime in milkshake form. Either lime or vanilla. I love a milkshake. I get them 9 times out of 10. Unless I'm with like other adults. So maybe he's right in that regard. Then I get a coffee.
Now, the Democrats, what they've done is they've feminized themselves in order to win election. And then they lost the election. And then they lost their manhood. So now all of these Democrat men are trying to talk about masculinity. Now, real men don't talk about masculinity.
You just did, Jesse. Your name is Jesse. That's a very feminine name. What the fuck? You're 1 letter off of being Jess.
Real men never say misogyny. It's just not something we say.
To be a man is to limit your vocabulary. Oh my God, I've already started. Man, it's so tough being a man these days, you know? We have it tough. No soup, no milkshakes, no straws. I guess that's good for the environment and good for my mental health, because when I get a paper straw, I really want to fucking kill myself. All right, on to the next one.
And even if he makes a change, they can change it right back. They're scared of the culture shit. They're scared of Trump winning because it's going to inspire men to be more masculine. And
yo, Trump fucking won. Let's be more masculine. So what happens like the day after the election is, do we just agree to grow out our chest hair and what? Punch holes in drywall? Is that what happened the day after the election? I know what happened the day after, or the day before Biden was sworn in, i.e. the day before January 7th. Is that masculine? Storming the Capitol because you didn't win the election? Oh, wait, did conservatives, did that happen at all? Sorry, I'm a bit behind the times. Are conservatives still denying the existence of that event happening? Was it overstated by the left at all? Trump winning so he can be more masculine. Yeah, there's nothing more masculine than Donald Trump with a beer gut in a white polo on his golf course, failing to hit a drive for 200 yards. Nothing more manly than that.
that's what they're actually afraid of.
Right.
They're afraid of a big man being a big man.
Yeah, I'm terrified of big men. Terrified. And I'm 6'6", so big men terrify me. Yeah.
They're afraid of him standing up and saying things. You know, they are furious. This reporter you named, who I don't even know who she is. That's how insignificant she is.
Yeah, really fucking got her with that one.
People like them can't stand the fact that when he says, grab her by the we're like, so?
I literally couldn't have cared less.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, just fucking, yeah, who the fuck cares about a known pedophile and sexual abuser saying grab her by the pussy? Bro, we're more masculine now. We don't give a fuck about that. What do we care about? Fucking cars, I guess going to the gym, fucking why would we care about women's needs when a man needs a fucking beer? Am I right, lads? But no, really, people like Andrew Tate, they profit off of a specific gap in the market that is created by low self-esteem men. You know, they exist, and they profit off of it in a way that makes these guys more insufferable to the average person in society, because who actually in society genuinely values what Andrew Tate just said? Like, we don't care that the president said grab her by the pussy. Who is that? Is that like a neutral position to have in society these days? Have we gone too far down the insufferable route that these men can just exist by saying these things. And then these men will complain about the men's mental health crisis because they're fucking insufferable. There's no other word to describe these sorts of men that subscribe to MAGA masculinity, to Andrew Tate masculinity. They are insufferable. And then they play the victims because society doesn't want them to be insufferable anymore. Like, pick a fucking struggle, my guys.
What do you think about the emasculation of men in universities and the less and less amount of men that are going into furthered education?
Yep.
How do you think we can combat that in a sense to strengthen young men once more?
Fucking spit it out, my guy. That's not very manly, having to break during the sentences. Jeez. If we're talking about being emasculated, you gotta express your sentences, my guy. Lots of Charlie Kirk today. I mean, he's not getting the revenue from my views anymore. So
funny. You read some of these articles, they say, the mystery of why men don't want to attend college. I don't know. They're told they're the problem of every single thing in society.
Yeah, so it's sensitive men, right? So sensitive men are the problem. Sensitive conservative men not going to university. Because I went to university. Did I feel attacked for being a cis-het white guy? No, not at all. Granted, a year of that was in COVID, so that fucking sucked. But did I feel like I was being hated on campus? No, because I'm not chronically online and I possess critical thinking to separate myself from my individual self from the masculinity conversations that we did have in a couple of my gender studies classes. Yeah. Sorry guys, I did gender studies. I'm full woke. It's sort of the brand. That's my name. So yeah, everything I'm hearing is just about sensitive men. They can't go to college because they feel attacked. Okay, well, we'll let the big boys go to college. Let the big boys get the degrees and get the jobs that'll earn them more money. Just take a seat for this, lads.
Men have gone into the Peter Pan, lost boy mentality. It creates, like I've said, the most suicidal, alcohol addicted, drug addicted, depressed generation in history.
Goddamn. And lads, nothing to do with capitalism. Nothing to do with the commodification of our bodies to serve as a means for capital. No, nothing to do with that. Because why do we need college when we have people like Charlie Kirk who tell us we don't need college because the colleges attack us, right? And we're not going to do any critical thinking into that because we're men. We don't do that. We were built for war. We were built for infrastructure. There's a decent portion of us being depressed and suicidal, but that's nothing to do with the commodification of our bodies. People like Charlie Kirk to profit off. That's not it. That'll never be it. It's the woke universities. On to
Watch
the
how
next.
Charlie Kirk explains to this student what it is to be a man and how showing emotion does not make you less of one.
To be a man is to have self-control over your fleshly desires.
Right, okay. Well, the conservative president you endorsed is a rapist. Yeah, it was found in court. Bodily desires, right. So he is also part of the Epstein files. Oh. And this doesn't really relate, but Elon Musk has apparently a botched penis surgery. So that I wanted to say that. I bring it up every chance I get. A botched penis. To be a man is to have a botched penis. That's what I'm saying.
And an attitude towards courage and defending those that can't defend themselves. Fostering a family towards godly purposes.
You sort of lost me there. I mean, we can have the whole discussion of godly purposes. But as I said before, the current president is a rapist. The current president is a pedophile. The current president you endorsed, by the way, had sex with a porn star while still married, buried his ex-wife on a golf course to avoid taxes. People like Charlie Kirk don't mean anything. They have their talking points in their head, and they're just they rattle them, you know, and it's seen as good discourse because he's been doing this for a decade. These kids have barely been alive for a decade, and he owns them. I mean, I would be sort of worried if Charlie Kirk didn't own these kids. Well, that's a strange sentence. I mean, he's friends with Donald Trump, so he could own something. But no, whenever he I don't know how we got here. Whenever he debates an adult, his IQ shows.
And picking the fights that the rest of society should not be involved in. That's what men should do.
Men with feelings and stuff like that makes them any less of a man, or things like therapy or whatever.
I mean, of course, we as men must have feelings, but women are more emotional. That is how they are wired. Look, a man who's in touch with his feelings, fine. However, if that verges on the line of self-indulgent narcissism, and towards what end?
See, brother says shit like that. That just doesn't happen. Self-indulgent narcissism. You're describing all conservative leaders currently in government. So he says talking points like that, and then he turns around and says, "Oh yeah, male suicide is terrible. Male suicide is somewhat preventable, but at the same time, lads, keep it to yourself, please. We don't want to hear it. It's shameless, truly." And the general public, when they reacted to Charlie Kirk's death, they couldn't see that. In my first video, when I said I don't care about Charlie Kirk's death, they couldn't empathize because they don't know how to pick apart talking points. So in my honest opinion, I truly think it's a net positive to have someone this nefarious with their talking points gone.
He's not lying.
Donald Trump, hero. He's our last hope. I'm going to expand on this. Donald Trump is the last hope of Western civilization.
Hell yeah, brother. Yeah. How?
He can't stop the decay, but he can slow it down. If he doesn't win, it's over.
It's over. It's fucking over, right? So, how's he our last hope?
If Trump doesn't win, he is done. It is over.
It's fucking over. Fuck. We're done. No more men. I'd love to elaborate. Andrew, please.
Okay. So the circumstances around him not winning are going to be insane.
He's
fucking insane, bro. If Donald Trump doesn't fucking win, it's done. We're over. Like, what do we mean by that? I'm out of character now. What do we mean by that? Why are we so desperate for daddy to come back? You know, how is he gonna save masculinity when he's built like a manatee? Shit, Eminem type shit. How is he gonna rebuild masculinity when he's a rapist, a sexual abuser, a pedophile? I don't know, he doesn't really appeal to the traditional conservative man. He's been married multiple times, he cheated on his wife's an immigrant. Ooh. So when people say, you know, we need manliness back in our government, what do they mean by that? I know plenty of manly men on the left because they've done the critical thinking to get to a point. To be a leftist, to be a progressive is to put a little bit of effort into your politics, a little bit of critical thinking, a little bit of research. Almost every default talking point leans conservative because it doesn't take any fucking effort. So when these people talk about being a man, being masculine, I'm looking over at my boys on the left. I'm looking at the boys who've done the work to get to a point where they're not affected by talking points like Andrew Tate's talking about. I'm looking towards the boys who aren't a victim of conservative hegemony, you know, who don't fall victims to these fucking stupid talking points. Truly.
I am truthfully the best commando that the conservative side, that Trump himself could possibly ask for. I've felt the true fire that these people can inflict on a human. They've truly hurt me.
Bro, you went to prison for human trafficking? You know what's crazy? I'm reacting to all these Andrew Tate clips and I'm thinking, is he still relevant enough to rage bait people into reacting? Like, is he still around? I feel like he is. We haven't seen anything for a while because he was detained for trafficking people. So guys, I've been cancelled. You haven't been cancelled. You've gone to prison for a crime. It's the same thing with Donald Trump. They're trying to cancel him. Honey, no, that's a felony. Honey, no, he's a sexual abuser. Sorry.
A lot of ways. So I am ready to go full, get emotional. Because, no, I am. Because what they can do to...
Well, keep it to yourself, buddy. Men can't be emotional. You look a little emotional there. Is that a tear in his eye? I see.
Somebody like me. At least I had financial resource. At least I had media outlets. Imagine I was a normal person with normal money. Imagine nobody...
But you weren't because you were trafficking people. Am I the only one able to connect the dots in this room? Andy?
Listen to me. The wrap-up smear would have had me done in 2 days. I would have been bankrupt and in jail in 2 days. Done. Nobody...
Because they seize your assets because you trafficked people.
Even gives me appreciation or respect, even the people who don't like me, for how I fought against from Bucharest, stuck in a house against the mainstream media machine with no money, all my bank accounts frozen, a judicial system which is questionable, sitting there resisting this massive...
Honey, your emotion is showing. Yeah, you're a victim of the mainstream media. By the way, random question. Did you happen to traffic, you know, a double digits worth of women? Did you force them to do sex shows on camera and then reap the benefits, reap the money from that? I'm just asking the real questions. Andrew's a real man. He should be able to answer. Guys, I don't know. I don't think I'm any closer to being a man, which sucks because I really want to be a conservative man. You guys are so fucking cool with all your cheating on your partners and fucking court cases. Guys, you're so cool. I don't know, maybe I wasn't cut out to be a man. My hair's kind of long. That doesn't really fit the stereotype of being a manly man. I do have a beard. Anyway, all of this just to say, manlyhood is incredibly fickle. It is defined by a bunch of people in a room who reap the benefits over commodifying that sort of message. So when Republicans are back in office, upticks in the army, in army registrations happen, upticks in, you know, immigration officers, because men are told that that's what they should be, right? And the people who are telling these men what they should be are reaping the benefits. Because it's not men who actually reap the benefits. We see that on Twitter because they're fucking crying about everything. The only benefit that they currently have is being able to talk about such a stupid talking point without getting punched in the fucking face, because it's insufferable. You know, these men are falling victim to the sort of talking points that conservatives are pushing out, and then suddenly they're the fucking victims again. It's pathetic. To be a man is to be a victim of yourself because you're too dumb to realize that you're being taken advantage of from conservatives.